goes out. Room turns into a freezer in minutes. One breath later, the smoke reverses. The wind shoves it back down the hearth and into your lungs. Your eyes flood. Your throat locks. The baby coughs. And you realize the worst truth of medieval winter. Indoors isn't safety. Indoors is the trap. You lunge for the embers with numb fingers, trying to wake them like a dying animal. A stick, a breath, a prayer. The walls are wattle and daub, mud over woven sticks, cracked so thin you can't see the gaps, but you can feel them. Little knives of air slicing in. Your breath is visible indoors. The floor is packed earth, cold as stone. Straw underfoot is damp, not soft. The room smells like wet wool, old smoke, and bodies that haven't truly dried in weeks. You stamp your feet once. Nothing. Twice. Still nothing. This is the lie medieval winter tells you. Survive the outdoors and you're safe. But winter doesn't stop at the door. It moves in. It climbs the inside walls. It squats in the bedding. It steals heat while you sleep. And it does so quietly you don't notice you're losing. Until you're too weak to fight back. History never dies. It just echoes in the crackle of a hearth you can't trust. So you do what people really did. You seal the drafts. You hang rough cloth, stuff rags into gaps, press straw into cracks, push a bench against the wall like a barricade. It helps for a few minutes. Then you feel it again, cold, finding a new path, thinner than a needle. Now you turn bodies into insulation. Everyone piles together. Not romance, survival math. You wedge the smallest in the middle, share one cloak across two shoulders, tuck feet under thighs. For a moment, the shivering slows. Then the cough starts. Deep, wet, the kind that shakes ribs. And suddenly, warmth isn't comfort. It's crowding. And crowding is how sickness spreads when winter forces you indoors day after day. You need the fire back, because fire is the only weapon you have. But fire in a medieval home is a tool that hates you. The wind shifts and the smoke dives down again, thicker and bitter. Your chest tightens. Your head gets light, like sleep is pulling you under with warm hands. Here's the trap. To stay warm, you close the room. To breathe, you must open it. Close it and you choke on smoke. Open it and the cold floods in. So you crack an opening, just a finger's width. Instantly the wind finds it. The flame leaps too high, too fast, and throws sparks toward the hanging cloth. For one heartbeat, you see the end. Thatch igniting, the ceiling turning into a furnace, everyone trapped inside a burning box. You slam it shut. The smoke thickens. The baby coughs again, and then the baby goes quiet. Your whole body freezes. You touch their cheek. Warm. Still breathing. Still here. For now. But that, for now, is medieval winter's favorite phrase. Now the endurance begins. And medieval winter is cruel because it turns endurance into a slow punishment. Damp is everywhere. Clothes never truly dry. Wool helps, but wet wool still steals heat. Straw mattresses compress and hold moisture like a sponge. Every night you warm the bed a little, and every morning the bed gives it all back to the cold, like a debt collector. So you try a real trick. Hot stones. Heat stones in the coals. Wrap them. Slide them under blankets. It works, briefly. Then someone rolls. The wrap shifts. Heat kisses skin. A yelp in the dark. Burns blooming instantly, and if a stone cracks into straw, your warmth becomes a fire risk again. Medieval winter makes you choose between frostbite and flames. Your hands start splitting, cracked knuckles, bleeding fingertips, skin so dry it tears just grabbing a bucket. Every cut is a debt you can't pay, because in winter your body heals slower, fights weaker, and breaks easier. And winter demands fuel. Food becomes another trap. Your body needs more calories. But this is the season when stores shrink. Grain is rationed. Meat is salted if you have it. Vegetables are pickled if you were lucky. You're not choosing meals. You're choosing which hunger hurts less. You go for water. The bucket has a skin of ice. You chip it off and swallow. It's so cold your teeth ache. You think about walking out for more, but the yard is slick and the wind is vicious. A fall in winter isn't pain. A broken ankle is immobilization, and immobilization in this cold can become a slow death sentence. You stay inside, and inside turns on you, because a medieval home isn't clean. It's alive. straw bedding, rough wool, shared space, little light, little ventilation. Winter keeps everyone close, so parasites thrive. Fleas in the straw, lice in seams, mites in bedding. You scratch until you bleed, and every scratch is another doorway for infection. The smell thickens too. Smoke, damp, unwashed bodies, old straw. Waste is harder in winter. Frozen ground doesn't take it easily. Pits don't empty. Everything lingers. The room becomes a sealed jar of survival byproducts, and your lungs live in it. Then you hear it. Tap, tap, tap. The roof leaks. Meltwater finds a weak spot in the thatch. One drip becomes a wet patch. The wet patch spreads. Damp crawls into the wall, into the bed, into your only dry corner. And damp is how cold wins indoors, because damp steals heat faster than dry air ever could. You patch it if you can, but patching means climbing. Cold fingers, slippery footing, wind trying to peel you off the roof like a dead leaf. One slip and you're done. Yet if you don't patch it, the damp spreads and the room becomes a refrigerator you can't escape. So you reach for the oldest hack of all. Bring the animals in. A goat, a pig, maybe chickens. Shared warmth. It's real. People did it. For one night it helps. Then the price arrives. More waste, more fleas, more stink, more disease risk. Heat rises, yes, but so do parasites. And if anyone has a weak chest, the cough deepens into something wet and relentless. Winter doesn't just hurt you. It multiplies every weakness until the smallest becomes fatal. Now here's the aha, the part people miss. Medieval winter doesn't usually kill with one dramatic moment. It kills with systems failure. A house that cannot hold heat, air that cannot stay clean, damp that cannot leave, food that cannot keep up, bodies that cannot recover. And every solution creates a new danger. Block drafts, you trap smoke. Vent smoke, you invite the cold. Sleep piled together, illness spreads faster. Bring animals in, warmth comes with parasites. Keep the fire roaring, one spark turns your roof into a funeral pyre. That's why indoors wasn't safety. Indoors was just where winter could reach you without looking like it was trying, until the moment you're too weak to resist. And the scariest part, the end can feel like relief. The shivering slows, the room seems quieter, your eyelids feel heavy, warm, soft, forgiving. The baby doesn't cry. You think, finally, we're okay. But history whispers the warning across centuries. That comfort can be the last sign your body is losing the fight. Because history never dies. It just echoes. In the ember glow that looks peaceful, in the hush before another cough, in the thin line between rest and not waking up. So if you're warm right now, remember that medieval night and let the lesson hit like a hammer. The cold wasn't outside the house. The cold was the house. History never dies. It just echoes. Subscribe.